Oh, yeah. We are here. We're live, and the phones have to be turned down a little bit. I know you guys can hear me talking to Man Mini. Hi, everybody. How is everybody today? Good to see you. Dan is live from Cebu, Queen City of the South, Philippines. All right, I just was trying my soundboard here to see if you can hear anything on that. Who's here today? Laurice was number one. Anna Cruz, Eileen Cruz is here. Anna Mae Reyes Crystals is in the house. I saw earlier Sir Luke. Who else is here today? Who else is here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's see if I can get things set up here. There's my link. I need to go in here and follow my link on my phone and pin it. Oi. Pin message. All right, I think I got it. Do you guys see the pin? Hey, so did I just say hey? Friends, welcome to my live stream, my own buntag. It's Saturday morning at 8 a.m. in the Philippines. I see Tim is here. Welcome, Tim. Remember, you cannot say hey to Filipinos because it's bad. And also, I tested this out. I talked to a friend from Norway who told me that it is also insulting when you try and call somebody over to your, to where you're at by pointing the finger and then saying, "Hey, you, come here." They don't like that. But anyway, that was last live stream's topic. Oh, by the way, Lazy Larry's here, or Larry Lee is anything but lazy. Everyone knows that. So it's kind of early. We didn't drink last night, by the way. I just would like to point out I take that back. We had one can of 12-ounce beer, San Miguel Light, at the 7-Eleven. Then the plan was to come back to the apartment that we're renting through Airbnb and then watch HBO, watch movies until dawn. But I fell asleep about 15 minutes later. The next thing I know, I woke up and it's time to do the live stream, right? So anyway, Man Mini and I, we had to run down to the 7-Eleven real fast, which is downstairs in the building. We're 17 or 18 floors up. Daisy Lynn Castro must be here. Anyway, we loaded up on caffeine, and I'm good as new. Threw a few clothes on. Mertz is here. Laurice, just say the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite. And a mighty fine person is here. You all are mighty fine people. By the way, has anybody ever told you that you are amazing? I stole that from somebody. You are amazing. I'm amazing. By the way, I keep seeing these memes show up. Is that how you say it, memes? They keep showing up on Facebook, and they surprise me, because it's stuff like, it's okay. Rich can be defined as having many, many good friends. Well, it always confuses me when I see those things on Facebook, because I think to myself, well, wouldn't it be nice to be rich and then hang around with rich friends? That would be something that I would go for. In other words, are you setting yourself up to be poor if you're rich in friends but poor in money? And so you would say something like, "Oh, I am rich in both money and friends," and then that would be a positive affirmation. I am rich in both money and friends, and that would be a positive affirmation. If you go the other way, then you're going to be poor the rest of your life, but you're going to have plenty of poor friends to surround you so you could all be miserable together. I'm just saying that's the world according to Dan. That's the way that Dan thinks. I'm just trying to educate you as to the way that my mind works. Anywho, I just thought I'd point that out. Okay, I'm gonna grab my phone. So that sort of stuff confuses me from time to time. So someone today, you hang with me, and somebody today is gonna win not 500, 100 pesos, so they can share coffee and donuts with Dan. So like I said, we had to run down to the 7-Eleven real quick. I'm looking around for my coffee lid. It disappeared somewhere around here. Man, Minnie will probably find it for me. She's over there working her Facebook page. Yeah, I'm looking around for the lid for the coffee so it stays hot. Did you happen to see it? When we move stuff around here, it disappeared. When we were setting the computer up, the lid disappeared to the coffee cup. Yeah. Let's see. I think your mind is retired also. Yeah, but I'm rich and retired. See, that's the difference. See, it's okay to be retired. It's okay to be retired, and it's okay to be just. I mean, the memes are confusing me because, like I said, of course, if you settled in your mind that you're never going to be rich, then you could hang around with. I suppose that having good friends is an okay thing. I'm just saying it's better to be both, and to hang around with rich friends, rich friends that pick up the check all the time, right? Oh. Speaking of which, I just ran into, when we were down at the 7-Eleven, I ran into a bloke with his girlfriend, a mighty nice fellow, although I can't remember his name. But it was interesting, the few moments that we had to talk. Larry's in the house. Knit Band stepped into the room.
Dan.
Hey, Larry, I was just telling how I met a bloke from the UK downstairs with his girlfriend a couple of moments ago. He's a very, very nice fellow. And he's working in the shipyard close by, and they're building some kind of catamaran yacht for somebody. No, he said he was building. He's in charge of the hiring, I guess, the personnel part of the operation. They have 300 employees, mostly Filipinos, working, and they are building a catamaran fast ferry over in the shipyards in Cebu. They tell me they're only a year behind schedule. That is not bad when you're talking about a situation where you have to import a lot of the materials for building a yacht. I mean, it's a catamaran fast ferry, I guess is what it is. So I love the idea. But anyway, he's from the UK, he has a 3-year contract, and he's 18 months into a 3-year contract. And I thought that was a great story. Can you imagine? He actually has a job here. In the Philippines, he actually has a job that's paying Western wages right here in the Philippines. That is proof that it can be done. That's proof that it can be done.
Well, they say usually you have to be hard in the country you're in, then sent over to work there, and you get that kind of money. Others do it by they're able to work from home, so they can go anywhere they want and work, and they still get paid the money that they were in their own country.
Right. Hey, Tim is saying, Dan, what monthly income do you consider to be rich? Well, it's relative. That's the fun part of this whole rich thing. But I think that the way that Filipinos define it as being 100K or more per year in Filipino pesos. So no problem, Tim. You're rich. You're in the rich zone, and I just happen to know you have rich friends, so you're covered on both ends. you're covered on both sides. You're rich and you have rich friends. Let's see. I have rich friends who publicly promise to give me accommodation if I'm in Bye Bye City. That's right. But there's no hot water. That's the only problem with that rich friend, Knit Band, is that he's not rich enough to be able to provide hot water. Yeah, so someone's going to enjoy, at the end of this, I'm going to announce the winner of Coffee and Donuts with Dan. It has a nice ring to it. Oh, by the way, we're getting closer to coming up with a channel name. There are one or two people in the chat here that are dancing around the name. You are the ones that have been giving me the idea for the channel name, and then I fine tuned it a little bit, you know. So, but anyway, whoever was first in coming up with the name, because I noticed that there's one name that keeps showing up over and over and over again, or variations of that name. So remember, it's the one who comes up closest to the name first that we select. Now, that does not mean I've selected a name, but if there's one thing I want to do, it's thank you for the hard work. Thank you, people in there like Anime Reyes, I see you in here, who you're just hitting it hard, coming up with all kinds of brilliant channel names. I really appreciate it. Callie King from Sacramento's in the house. I really appreciate it. Menge is here, Mini Snow, and Knitband. Digging deeper with Dan. There you go. Digging deeper with Dan. Yeah. I don't want it to be where I chase people away, though, Knitman. You know, digging deeper with Dan, it could mean a whole bunch of things. That's why I like the name. Like digging deeper into what? Like a pile of manure, maybe. Digging deeper in a pile of gold. Something like that. All right. Go ahead.
Digging deeper into the pile of gold.
Yeah. So
I'll retire that.
by the way, Dan always puts his money where his mouth is, and I have started to buy not gold, but silver. I think silver has a. I think the possibilities for growth for silver are greater than they are for gold. So, and plus, silver is very affordable. If you wanted to start buying silver, you could get a silver ingot, silver bar, 1 ounce, 0.999 pure. You could probably get it for somewhere around, I don't know, 1,500 pesos, give or take. Maybe you'll pay a spot fee on it. All right, let's talk about, let's set that aside. Sir Luke is here. Sir Luke, the Force. I want to talk about apartment hunting. All right. Many of you know I came here, many came here to do a few things that we've accomplished most of the goals. But the apartment hunting thing is very, very depressing. Because so far, after viewing 5 different apartments, using a friend that Leonard Lund recommended, a very, very go-getting, great personality. I mean, just totally a go-getter. Eleanor, she's a little bit like a pit bull on a pork chop. You know, she'll move in for the kill. She's like, oh yeah, we're gonna find this apartment for you, Sir Dan's. We're gonna find the apartment for you and Ma'am Minnie to live happily ever after. And then she's just like a pit bull on a pork chop, like she's not going to let any of the meat. She's not going to leave any of the meat on the bone. I'm telling you. But it's been disappointing. Disappointing in one way because I had certain expectations, and it does not look like I'm going to be able to fulfill those expectations. Oh, Des is here. Des, your daughter's so cute. How are you today? How are you? Where's Mel? Hey, Des and Mel are going to be putting on a feeding program that I'm going to sponsor on behalf of my 66th birthday. It's going to be Sunday on April 2nd in the barangay of Caridad, Bye City Leyte. And I really appreciate Des and Mel taking care of all the details so I don't have to lift a finger. So that's going to be on Sunday, April 2nd. The kids get fed a fine meal, and Dan gets to celebrate I never celebrate my birthdays because every year I'm thinking to myself, oh, happy birthday to you, 1 year closer to death, da 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 da. So in other words, I try not to celebrate. Oh yeah, today. Let's see what today. What's today? Oh yeah, it's my birthday. So instead of handling it that way, which is kind of a downer, I thought it would pump it up a little bit and have and sponsor a feeding program for the kiddies in the Caridad barangay, the Caridad area of Bye Bye City Leyte, Des and Mel, and maybe they could recruit a couple of more helpers. They're taking care of business for me. I really appreciate it. Des, you're number one. You and Mel are number one. Don't ever change. Yes, of course, your live stream. Of course, Des. Don't forget. Oh, wait, wait, but you're on the same time. Uh, oh, no, no. You'll be an hour later after Larry starts his live stream tomorrow. Anyway, it's evening time, I think, also in the States, afternoon or evening. Who else is here? Laurice is going to be in the BG because she's fixing breakfast for the kids. And Des, it will be on Sunday, April 2nd. That's the feeding. And I'm really, really happy about it. And Sir Luke is here. That puts a smile on my face. And Knit Band, I moved out of Sacramento 20 years ago, was in Mather. That was a good move. That was a very, very smart move. Mabel Torres is in the house. And Beth is here. Beth, whenever I see your name, it puts a smile on my face. Whenever I see your name, I don't know why. When I see, you know what I think it is? It has something to do with my childhood, because one of my good friends has your last name, and I miss him, and he had your last name. It just goes to show you that the Beltran. I don't know if that's your married name or maiden name, your birth name, but I just every time I see the name, I go, man, I wonder what he's doing these days. You know, I oftentimes will think about it, and we had such good times that it just leaves a smile on my face. All right, so now I know you guys are waiting to hear about the apartment search. By the way, if there's anyone here in the chat that can help me out with this apartment hunting thing, I would truly, truly appreciate it.
Hey,
It is,
Dad, pay for my flight. I'll come over and help you.
yeah, you'll come over now. I'll bet you will. Tim, still stuck in Folsom, the prison town. It's been 12 years. Yeah, but no escapes. Knitband, have they had any escapes? And aside from that little shooting incident over there at the outlet stores, pretty safe town all around, but getting a little bit more dangerous in that neck of the woods. I'm not sure exactly why. I can't, when I look at demographics and things, I can't explain why crime is following everybody, even to the rich people neighborhood where you live, Nitban. Uh, I'm not sure why that is. There you go. There's the link for Des. Des and Jason, their family, mighty fine people. Mighty fine people. Just, how would you say, very, very family oriented folks. All right, so let's see. What was I going to talk about? Apartment hunting. So I was expecting people to be more. And Pumpkin Joe, good morning. I hope I was able to help you out with giving you the idea to go into that channel name where they're building a more traditional, sort of like a hybrid traditional house, kind of thing. Beth
We
and
got
Christopher.
Elvie here as well, Dan.
LV, thank you so much, LV. You've been working hard for me, LV. Take a break, girl. Take a break. You work hard for your friends. I think LV knows the secret to life. The secret is there's no secret. You get back what you give. That's the secret. And so she knows it. LV knows it. And LV, by the way, does not have expectations. She has requirements. And that number one requirement is don't be screwing around and do what you say you're going to do. And those are rules to live by for everyone. I've been known occasionally to open my mouth and then not follow through with what I'm supposed to do. That's not the type of person that LV is. But LV would be the first person to agree with me that self-improvement is the key to success in life. Self-improvement is the key to success. Uh-oh, don't trip over the light, dear. There's the back of Man Mini walking by, heading for the CR, no doubt. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to give you up. All right, so apartment honey ain't going so well. It is it is. I guess I guess I thought I could live in the lap of luxury on 150 American dollars per month, but it doesn't look like that is the case here in Cebu. So, but I did have certain requirements, not expectations. Well, yeah, the expectations have been blown up. So the requirements were that it be a fully furnished apartment with air conditioning, turnkey, move-in ready. So all I had to do was bring my backpack and a few clothes, and I move in. But you don't get that here in the city of Cebu, in the part of town that I want to live in, which is Mango, which is where Chunghwa Hospital or Chunghua Hospital is. You don't get to live here for you don't get that kind of deal for under 25 or 30K per month. That's too much money. That's more money than Dan wants to spend because they call me Low Budget Dan. Hey, Low Budget Dan's channel. Contest is over. No, I'm just kidding. So, it's been a little bit of a disappointment because the best candidate that we found, and I really, really like this apartment, it's about 22 to 25 square meters, so it's tiny, is right behind Chunghwa Hospital, and it's going for $300 per month. But it is unfurnished and no AC. What would you do, Larry? What should I do? $300 a month, 15,000 Filipino pesos per month. You have no control over the cost going up or down depending on the peso rate. But right now, the peso is weakening against the dollar, and I probably will continue. It probably will continue into 2023, and I'm kind of guessing that it's going to be with us for a while, at least throughout 2023. I'm not trying to talk myself into this apartment because really, I don't want to spend the money on the furniture and getting a TV set and getting the PLDT installed and doing all these things. But I'll tell you, those are the negative side. The positive sides are it's right behind Chunghwa Hospital. You could carry me there if you needed to. And so it's $300 per month. So the positive side of it is they control the utilities right there from the site, which means they bill you for electrical and water. So one thing that, being low budget Dan, I asked to see some live bills of people's apartments and their electrical usage. And then I saw they're charging 16.16 pesos per what do they call that? Kilowatt hour. And so I looked at that, and the average electric bill is probably running around, I would say it's running somewhere between 1,000 to 3,000 pesos per month, depending on what they're using. And
20 to 60 bucks, roughly.
Yeah, somewhere between there, $20 and $60. And the water is running $6 to $10, which I'm okay with. But at 16, that's 0.16 per kilowatt hour. What's the electrical company charging? How much money profit are they making?
You have to look at what they charge in Cebu because that's going to be different than what they charge in Bye.
Also have to pay $20 per month in association dues to maintain the grounds, but they have no common grounds except the parking lot. So this is really paying for maintenance. But when I look around, it's extremely well maintained. So Plus,
I'm going to tell you the truth.
yeah, tell me
300
the
a
truth.
month.
Don't lie to me, Larry. Don't lie to me.
I'm
Whatever
going
you
to
do.
lie to you. I'm going to lie out of my backside. All right.
Yeah,
Okay. No, what I'm saying is, it would depend on if I'd already checked the area out and I wanted to really stay in that area.
yeah,
Because, like I said, if I once I find a place, if I move over there, if I find an area I really want to live, I don't mind buying my furniture. My last place before I moved down here, when I was living up in Leroy. Now, when I was a kid, if you ever watched my show about before I was Lazy Larry, my video on that, I tell
yeah.
you, by the time I was 13, I lived in 18 houses. All right, when I first moved out to New York, my first 8 years, I lived in 8 different places. So I'm not adverse to moving, but if I
But you have to
find an
move all
area I
your
like,
moving
I'm
all
just
your
saying,
stuff. Moving all your stuff is a pain in the ass. You know it.
oh yeah, well, when I moved into Leroy, I moved everything, but I moved everything in a convertible. My bed,
So think about
everything.
this. Think about this, Larry. Think about this because this is a key point here. So when this lease is up, let's say Dan isn't happy any longer, right? They know something.
That,
If
that
you're the leasing agent, if you're the manager of the apartment, they know something, right? No one likes to move junk that they have to buy.
yeah,
This is strategic of them to not furnish the apartments. See, because they know, hey, I'm not a marketing genius, but I am a genius. So here, here's the whole thing. They know that you don't want to move your stuff, so they know that. So here's the thing: they want to tie somebody up for 1 year. But I said I'm more comfortable doing a 6 month lease, and they agreed to it very quickly. And the reason why they agreed to it because they know I have to furnish this apartment, and then in the end of it, what am I going to do? If I decide to move, I'm going to leave all the stuff. All
I,
right,
I'm going to tell you the truth. I would move my stuff as long as I
lie to
wasn't
me,
changing.
Larry. Lie to me.
If I wasn't changing islands or cities, if I was going to stay in Cebu,
Yeah,
okay, then I would hire somebody to move my stuff. You just find somebody that's got a truck and hire them and a friend of theirs and let them move everything. Okay.
yeah,
But now, if you're thinking, well, I don't know if I want to live here. Maybe I want to go to uh, Bye Bye, or maybe I want to go to uh, Iloilo, or Dumaguete, or Davao, somewhere other island. Uh, I don't think I would really had that to look and see how much it would cost to move that stuff. Because, like you said, do you really want to pay somebody moving it that far? 'Cause
yeah.
You know, because you
That's
got to pay for
okay.
their
So let
trip.
me let me give you the rest of it. Let me give you the rest of it.
Go ahead.
And it's 40K to move in. 40K.
Oh yeah,
First, last month, and security deposit. So I said to him, I said, it's only a 6 month lease. You're holding 3 months of the money. Why? I said, why don't you give me a discount and I'll give you spot cash for the 6 months? We don't have to fool around with first month, last month, security deposit, all that stuff. I will give you spot cash right here, right now for the apartment. Sign on the dotted line. I'm here for 6 months. I said, you win. You win. It's a win-win. If you allow a discount, I give you spot cash. You have all your money in front. You don't care what happens to me in 6 months. I could stay, I could go, I can get mad and storm off like Americans do, and you still have the money. Oh, so sorry, sir. We don't allow discount, and we don't allow. So you're holding 3 months of my money. I try to explain that it's you won me. Hi, number number one supporter on a good day. It's you won me. I love going in there and seeing her uh, making comments and then going into other people's sites, that are having contests, and then they'll say, okay, you got to go in and Drum it up. Drum up some business for us. And then I see it's you, one me's comments. I love it. All right, Larry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, like I said, if I was going to move off island, if I even had plans to move off island, I
Yeah.
would want a furnished. Like I said, until I knew, all right, this is where I'm going to settle down. This is where I'm going to live till I die. Because let's be honest about it. As old as we are when we go over there, you're 66. I'll be 70 this year.
How would you know the first time out, Larry? Help me out here. How would you
You
know the
don't.
first
Like I said, well, you do what you do, and you get an Airbnb and rent it for a month or two. And
It's
then,
expensive. It's
oh, I know.
expensive, bro.
Well, I'm saying no. I'm saying you get an Airbnb and then you find a furnished apartment.
It's this is $800 a month, this apartment that we're in right now.
Is it
This is $800 per month in American money. What's that? Six what
uh,
how many pesos is that per that's almost what?
about
50,000?
16,000?
Huh?
Was it what? No, 8,000? No, it'd be see it. No, 16. It's for every thousand for every 20. So every $100 is 2,000. No, take it. Let's see.
Okay, if you're gonna move over here, you're gonna have to be able to map this out. Yeah. Okay,
Hang
Larry.
on,
Okay.
give me
I
a
like
second.
you a
Give me a
bit.
second.
Sharpen up your math skills a little bit.
It's about, like I said earlier, about $16,000.
It's $43,200 in pesos per month. That's what this apartment is
Oh,
costing.
40. Okay,
Yeah. So
40,000.
when you're talking about it's easy to say these words, right? It's easy, but it's not so easy. It hurts my ears, quite frankly, when you say, "Oh yeah, Dan, just rent the Airbnb for a couple of months," and that's that's relatively inexpensive. See, that's only like 25 or $26 per day, maybe 27, and that's as good a deal as you're going to get anywhere. And so if you rent an Airbnb for a couple of months, you're $1,600 in the hole for
Well,
startup,
I'm
and
gonna
then
say
you're going, and then you're going, then you're gonna go around. You're gonna start doing you're gonna start humping, looking for apartments, which is what Eleanor, Minnie, and I have been doing for a couple of days, and we're coming up goose eggs.
yeah.
The places. Here's another problem. You guys should know this problem. You should know this problem that I've run into. We ran into some furnished apartments that I would have rented, but I have to climb 15 floors in order to get to my apartment.
Not
Oh,
happening. Not
sorry, sir.
happening.
Elevator is broken. Will be repaired soon. Sorry, sir. You must use the stairs. No elevator service here in the building. Sorry, sir. I mean, it was one roadblock after another. And so this apartment, by the way, is on Girly Senna's here. Hi, Girly Senna is on the second floor. This is on the second floor, which means that
I could walk those stairs.
I can climb one set of stairs to get to the second floor. And
Oh
so
yeah.
and so the other ones, so we call one guy to come out and show us a furnished apartment. It was right in the happy spot, right in the happy zone. It was 10,000 per month, fully furnished, had the AC, had everything in there. So we went and met, and when he shows up, the landlord, the owner, he says, "Oh, so sorry, the apartment on the second floor has been rented, and now I do have one available, but it's on the third floor." So the girls start walking. It's funny. It's really funny. The girls start walking up the stairs, heading for the third floor, and I do the first rung of stairs. And I go, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna take a break and go back down. And so I go back down, and when they come down, the guy's laughing. So I guess it's no sale. He looks at me and smiles, and I guess it's no sale. I said, I guess you're right about that. Because
Yeah.
I didn't even go up to see the apartment. I just gave up because the rule is Dan's retired. Dan does not walk up any more than one flight of stairs. It's a deal killer if I have to walk any more than one flight of stairs up. It's a deal killer.
Dan, I live on the first floor.
Des,
I have my choice between a second floor
Des,
apartment with a balcony or the first floor apartment with a patio. Now the balcony I think is nicer, but I took the first floor with the patio. It's like,
but Larry, that Leonard, you can figure that. Leonard, you guys know that everybody's going to want, if you're an expat, everybody's going to want the apartment that's on the ground floor. And so, of course, there's none of those available anywhere.
Right. Oh, no, like I said,
if they had a working elevator, it might be different. But
working elevator, I don't care what floor it's on.
Right.
Working elevator.
Right. Nimbad's chiming in about what just happened. So that they just raised the Fed rate 0.25 a quarter.
Yeah.
They just rent.
That was a couple days ago.
Right, 25 basis point. Okay, there's already movement. There's already movement in the Philippine peso. So we're at 54.40 yesterday, something like that. And so Nitban is right. We're pretty safe that things are going to stay. They're going to stay. That the peso is going to continue to weaken against the dollar. By the way, I don't know if you read the news, but we had the first destroyer in port here in the Philippines.
I haven't heard that yet.
No, I hadn't heard that yet either.
See, and Pumpkin Joe's right. 300 is too much. We rented a 2-bedroom, 2-floor home for 200 in Cebu. And that's what I think is out there. And so I want to ask Pumpkin Joe. Pumpkin Joe, if you're still there, where in Cebu?
Hey, Dan, contact Eleanor.
How long was that? No, we've been working with Eleanor. That's what I'm saying. We've been working with Eleanor already. She's a go-getter. I'm very happy with her. Yeah, she's like a pit bull on a pork chop. It scares me a little bit. She moves in for the kill. I mean, she's all business.
Yeah.
She's all business. She moves into the kill and she smiles while she's doing it.
That's the only reason I referred.
Yeah. No. There's Eleanor's the girl, but I gave her the perimeters. They're almost too difficult for her to find a match. They're almost too difficult. It's almost to the point where she's starting to look at me going, man, this stuff just isn't realistic what you're asking for.
Yeah.
But Pumpkin Joe is telling me that it is.
Yeah, but Pumpkin probably staying outside the city proper.
Bite your tongue, Larry. Bite your tongue, Larry.
I'm just telling you,
I've seen apartments in Cebu proper for around that. So
we are unable to find what we're looking for in that zone.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That might be the issue, the location you're at.
We've seen 4 or 5 apartments so far.
Yeah.
And the one that is the perfect location, I mean perfect apartment in my opinion, they want $300 a month for. And Pumpkin Joe says that's too much. And I agree with
that was unfurnished, right?
Huh? Unfurnished.
Yeah. Furnished would be all right. I'd go with it furnished.
Nothing in there. No AC, no nothing. I would be I would have to go get one of them
you put another
mattresses you throw on the floor.
You'd end up with 2,000 more put in it to get it up and going.
It's at least 1,000 to get the basics. You would need AC and a bed and a table and a chair. You're talking $1,000 right there. 200 for a TV set, a smart TV, a tiny one, a 32 inch.
Well, yeah.
And then setting up PLDT is going to be another $40 to $100. I mean, it's $1,000 right out the gate. Hello, Dan, Larry, and Tim, and everyone. Larry, are you Philippines bound yet?
No.
Dodger Blue is in the house. Dodger Blue, we've been missing you.
Did you see what Ben said earlier? Did you see it?
No.
I guess you didn't.
No.
Because, and you would never want to go down to have an expensive dinner. You will save a lot of money. He's talking about if you took that third floor apartment or higher. You could have an apartment you'd never want to leave.
No.
And I'm with Nitman on that.
Yep.
Tim's
Well,
making
you know
fun of
my
me.
situation.
Okay,
I wouldn't have a
Tim,
chance.
all's fun in love and war.
Hey, Nitman, how you doing, buddy?
Larry, you are a Colts fan. I guess it makes sense from Indiana.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Colts fan. He's going by this. It's a
Yeah.
Colts symbol. I'm
Well, I
wearing a,
was when Peyton still was playing there.
well,
Hey,
I became a Colts fan in March of 1984 with the midnight move by the Mayflowers. That's when they left Baltimore. They used the Mayflower moving vans at the end of
Yeah.
March 1984, and that's when I started
40K
rooting for the Colts.
LB, they want first, last, and deposit for a 6-month lease. So if I want to sign a 1 year lease, they want first, last, and deposit. Same
Same
thing.
thing, yeah, yeah.
So there's no budging here. They don't negotiate. I was telling Eleanor. I said, Eleanor, you're the agent making commission. You're supposed to be doing the heavy lifting. Go negotiate with them. They won't, Sir Dams. They won't. I already tried. They won't. They won't budge.
Well,
So we're only
there.
here. We're only here until Monday or Tuesday. I don't think we're going to have time but one more day for apartment hunting because we're meeting friends today. Oh, by the way, I got to tell you guys, it's such a small world. It is such a small world. I
Did
have
you
been
run
running
into
into,
Chris?
yeah, I mean, I've been running into friends. I mean, by accident, nobody knew. They don't watch the channel. They don't know that I was going to be here. They didn't know that I was going to be here. For example, found out that we have a couple of kids, a couple of our friends' kids. They go to school in the university that is right here, located right here in the building where we're staying, and they're going to be coming in to bring the monthly allowance and probably settle the bills and stuff like that. They'll be here Monday, so we're going to be. And then today, Minnie's cousin, your cousin, is working where? The TGIF. She works in there as a server. Ayala. We'll be headed to Ayala to meet Minnie's cousin who works there. We didn't know. Yeah.
Now, Dodger, the
Hey,
last couple of
Laurice, how
years
you
have been
doing?
good for you. Dodger said he was a Buccaneers fan since '76. A lot of pain, but they had Tom Brady there for a couple of years. That wasn't too bad.
Nitban, I think it's barely starting to sink in that the economy is going south. I think that the key, I think the secret has already been given away because the manager of that one apartment that we looked at that I liked the best had said that, these apartments, they used to go for a lot more than what we want to charge you. I mean, it's the best location in all of Cebu. If you want to live near Chunghwa, you can't find anything for less than 30 or 40K. That's what she told me straight up. And I believe she's
That's a good
not
sales
lying to me.
pitch.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe she's not lying, but
Okay.
but I don't know what to do. 300 is too much. Pumpkin Joe says, and I believe Pumpkin Joe's correct.
Well,
And so
I think so
Nitban,
too. Hi,
Nitban,
Choran.
the whole thing Nitban is that the cracks in the economy are starting to show, and so what we have to do is we have to wait a little bit longer, I think, for the cracks to become a little bit wider, where people finally get the message that the economy is starting to tank. Not tank in the U.S. sort of way. The Philippines, I think, is going to be slightly insulated from a severe recession, but the United States is going to get hammered.
I believe you're right.
Well, if the Fed will stop raising the interest rate and start lowering it, it'll correct
Well,
the
if they
inflation because that
if they
interest
just stop,
causes higher price and higher cost to consumers is what inflation is.
yeah.
So the
Oh,
Fed
but
is going about this all wrong.
they're saying, but the thing they're saying, but if we raise the price, that will cause it to stop. If we raise the interest rates,
Mm-hmm.
then
Didn't
people
seem
will
to work,
stop
did it?
borrowing
Never
money.
has. The only thing it's
Guys,
ever done is cause a recession.
Cha Ram is here.
Hello,
Love you,
Charan.
Cha Ram. Cha
Now, in
Ram
case
is
you didn't
big
see,
time. Hey,
in case you
Cha
didn't
Ram
see
is big
it,
time, you guys.
Oh yeah.
well, Elvie
Yeah.
says she's going to be doing a live stream at 9. Wants to invite everybody after we get done here to join her. She's going to have
Okay,
Dad on in the
LB.
background right now. So
100 USD is 5,000 pesos. Yeah, that's right. 5,400. So, I want to say, I got as close exchange rate as I could when we went into the bank the other day, the BPI,
yeah,
where Minnie has her checking account, her peso account, and they
Uh-huh.
were the closest. They were the best rate. They were the best rate that you can find.
That's
what
good.
was it?
Almost, it was
Hey, Des,
54,
how are you?
54 and change, 54.25 or something like that.
That's
So it was
good.
almost. They were just taking a small commission for handling the paper, for handling the money. So that tells me that they're buying dollars. So whenever they're giving you close to spot, that kind of tells me that they need the dollars. And so when they start buying dollars and giving you that good rate, that's a sign. That's a sign, baby. I'm telling you, I pay attention. That's a sign. That's a sign that there are cracks in the economy. All right. So where are we now? Oh, all right, apartment. So I was talking. So let's talk about this subject. Let's talk a little bit more. So now, if if I want to keep it around $200 a month, that means that I have to go further out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds
That
like it.
means like I have to go further out. So now I gave Eleanor pretty tight perimeters for handling, for expectations. And so now, what do you think my next move is, Leonard?
Well, yeah, that's tough.
What do you think my next move is?
Well, you may end up having to loosen up your parameters a little bit and maybe move
You
a little
know,
farther
Sir
out.
Luke comes up with a great idea. What about hanging a hammock between two mango trees, which is fine. I think it's fine
I don't
because
think maybe I'll go with it.
we're on Mango Avenue. I mean, so that means they got
Yeah,
mangoes here. They got mango trees and a lot.
Minnie might get away with it, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, we for a little while because we noticed that there are people living on the street here. Not too many, but there are a few.
Yeah, but the ones that
Oh,
are not
guys,
foreigners.
I gotta tell you about something. I wasn't gonna mention this, but it's kind of fun. So we're hanging around. We were going to meet Eleanor for the first time, and then we run into the honey vendor. And so in there, the honey vendor has 3 bottles of honey, and
Yeah,
then he's got honeycomb in a bucket with bees flying around. So immediately I detect scam because I see honeybee. So I say to him, "Sir, is that real honey?" "Oh yeah, yeah, you can see it's real honey. Look, look!" And he lifts up the honeycomb. And there are bees flying around in there, and then he's got honey draining to the bottom. I go, uh, "Are you sure that isn't corn syrup in the bottles, though? I could see that that's real honey." I said, "But this over here looks like corn syrup. It doesn't have the right
If it's too
color."
white, if it's
Yeah,
too white, it's corn syrup.
and then I said the other problem I have is that, as far as I know, there are no honey farms anywhere close to here. "Oh no, 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 sir! This is from Toledo. This is wild honey from Toledo." I said, "Tell me the truth, son. That is corn syrup in those bottles." And you did a pretty good job of getting people excited. "All right, what's the price? Let's do it this way." I said, "What's the price?" "No, sir, it's real." So he said, "The price is 250 per bottle." That's corn syrup. You know as well as I do that there's no way that if that were real honey, you could sell that for any less than 500 pesos, and it would be a really, really teeny tiny bottle. I go,
Yep.
"Let me taste it. If you're going to continue to insist that it's real, let me taste it." He says, "Okay, sir," and he opens it up and he hands it to me. And so all they do is this, right? So before I taste, I say to him, "Now, I knew I was going too far with this. I was worried that the guy was really going to be mad because I'm challenging him, and he knows dang well that the honey is not pure." And so I go, I said the best way that you can tell is by just taking your pinky finger and swiping the edge, because the corn syrup is going to hang on the edge.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to hang right there as you're pouring it in, right?
Yeah.
And so I just do that, and then so as soon as he sees me do that, he just gives up, grabs the bottle from me, puts the cap on it, and then he just looks down. He does not say a word to me, and then I just do this, and I look at him straight, and I said, "You should be ashamed of yourself." I have not seen this dude hanging around since. Nope.
Be careful though. Be careful though.
Yeah, I know. I know. I should not have done it. I should not have called him on his game. I should have just walked away and not challenged him.
Yeah.
I don't walk up any stairs unless I go to the mall. I don't even do it then. If they don't have a working escalator or people mover, I ain't doing it.
Yep.
They have to
So
have
did
they have to have an
did you see
elevator.
Matt Man? Was Matt Man around?
Was who?
Matt Man. Remember Matt Man when Chris was walking around?
Mm.
The
I saw Orange Man, the guy that sells the oranges to Dustin backpacks.
Okay, no, everybody used to get excited about the Matt Man.
Yeah, we saw Dick Man, the guy who hangs around, literally hangs around. We call him Dick Man. Boy, put that thing away. That thing looks dangerous, I said to him. You're scaring people. You're scaring me with that thing. Put it away. Congratulations, but put it away. And
He's
so
just
he
he's
covered up.
advertising.
I don't think people are used to being addressed. I think the gentleman, he's looking for shock value. He's looking for shock
Yeah.
value. Yeah, and I wasn't
Yeah.
giving it to him. I was just like, congratulations. Put the thing away. You're scaring people out here.
Yeah.
And it caused him to. He just caused him to cover up, which I was happy about.
Well, that's good.
And you never want to go down to have an expensive dinner. You will save a lot of money. Well, that's true. Well, we did have an expensive dinner, I'm afraid, Nitban. Man, Minnie paid for it, though. She busted out her wallet. And so Minnie, she just let me know that we had leftover money from the household budget for the month of March. And she just let me know that. And so, yeah.
So she's gonna burn it up.
Yeah. It's funny. It's
Hey,
funny.
Mel,
Leftover
how are you?
money. Yeah. So anyway, we went to, but I was disappointed. I was really disappointed. I got hungry for Vietnamese soup, and we ended up in a Vietnamese restaurant over there at Cybergate Mall.
Was
And
it
it was
any good?
It was, it was in the middle. It was in the middle, but I wouldn't go back there. When you talk about value, did we get the value out of the food? I'd have to say no, that it just wasn't there.
Okay,
So for two
that-
people, we spent $25 American dollars. It was too much money.
no, that's too much. You
Shoot,
don't
that's what
spend
you
that kind
pay
of money
here.
going to. I don't pay. Yeah, but I didn't pay that. Last year on my trip through Boston and up to Massachusetts and Maryland and all that, I went to the
Mhm.
Vietnamese restaurant and I didn't pay half. It was just
I
me.
think
And all I
Tim
got
here,
was the soup, and it wasn't half that on the
right?
plate.
No, you should be able to get great soup and a lot cheaper price than that. Look at what Tim is saying. It was 54 even Thursday on Walker Street. That is a sign of decline, my friend. As that valuation goes up, when you're getting the money changers offering that kind of rate, I'm going to tell you that it means that they need to be buying dollars, and so they need it. They need to up the rate.
Well,
Hi,
that's,
you
a
sure?
lot of that's
You'll
because
sure
the
say,
U.S. military coming in.
Now, I got a question for you, Dan.
yeah.
Mel's vlog, is that Melanie? Because she doesn't have a jacket. She looks cold.
Who?
Mel's vlog. Is that Melanie?
I think Melanie uses her full name, doesn't she?
She does
Melanie
sometimes,
Everywhere I've seen her, but
but
it's hard to say on here.
Palapayan.
yeah, I
I'm sorry. Let me catch up. I haven't been paying attention. I haven't been holding on my phone and looking, and it's taken a long time to
Yeah,
load
that's
up.
Melanie.
yeah,
Is it Mel?
yeah. It looks
Yeah, it
like
is.
it's a second channel. It's not her main channel.
Oh, it's her ninja channel,
Yes.
Mel's vlog. I didn't know you had one, Mel. All right,
Uh,
got you covered. Got you covered, girl.
I'm gonna say I was sure that was Melanie.
Mel's vlog. Shout out Larry. Okay, got her covered. Okay, so now
She says her main
Mel.
account's live.
All
Her
right,
main.
Mel is going to be helping out. Of course, Mel and Des are handling all the details because, after all, I'm retired. She's handling all the details for the live
Oh,
stuff for the.
there's Leonard.
Yeah,
I'll
I
let you
kicked
Leonard,
myself off.
quit kicking yourself, Leonard. Quit kicking
I
yourself.
know.
No need to
Leonard,
It
abuse
doesn't do
yourself
any
like
good
that.
either.
Leonard, I'll kick you all you want. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure, but that probably won't do any more good than me kicking myself.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah,
other
but
thought.
it made me
The
feel
other
better.
thought, like you guys have been saying, if you don't go crazy on, I'll tell you what, I've done the whole budget thing. I'm ashamed of myself. I spend more money on junk it would pay for 3 apartments in a month. For crying out loud.
Well, yeah,
And here I am complaining about paying $300 a month for an apartment.
like I said, now I don't have the budget, and when I say budget, I'm not talking about what you save. I'm just talking about what you're willing to spend per month. And still have your savings and your insurance and all that. I don't have near the budget you have. Now I will have enough for one person to live very
Wait,
comfortably.
time out. What do you think my budget is?
Oh, yours is over 2 grand.
Hey, Mel, thank you. I'm doing well.
I don't know how much it is, but it's over 2 grand.
All right.
All right, mine won't be about 1,500, if that. It might even be a little lower. So uh, that's what I said. I mean, I'm going to have to look for ways to save money. Uh, I mean, I have an income higher than that, but like I said, you got to have some money for savings, and
Right.
Oh, you
I
have
don't.
to save money for booze and wild women too.
Oh, that's part. That's going to be part of your budget. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about savings. For something goes wrong, you got to have money to help
Yeah,
cover it.
that's true.
Yeah.
But
So
how
as
do
I
you
said,
get let's say something happens and you have some kind of a medical emergency, how are you going to get to the hospital?
Well, in
well, I want to be in a
DeVal,
bigger
that's just a
city.
911 call, but
That's
anywhere
right,
else,
and
you
that's
can't
why
do that.
Deval is one. That's why Deval is one of the cities I would consider. That plus,
Yeah.
it's also a very clean city, just
Yeah,
like Iloilo.
I've
is
said
very
that
clean.
all along.
I
Well,
like both those cities for that reason.
you folks know that in the States, people don't call an ambulance now; they call the Uber driver.
Not
I'm just
me.
saying. I'm just giving you the factoids. I'm just giving you the world according
I
to
hadn't
Dan.
heard that, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, and so now they're medically training the Uber drivers, and there's going to be a little thing that shows up, like a little Red Cross thing that shows up.
Oh, you're talking
When
about
you,
over where you're at.
I'm talking about in the United States, they had
I
already
said,
started that.
I've never used an Uber driver.
Yeah,
Never. I don't have it on my app.
I
I,
have
I
I have used it a couple times.
yeah, but see, I drive myself.
wow, you are skinny, Crystals. You're tiny. I mean, you're tall, but you're skinny.
Well,
Well,
so just tell them you're in good health and let it
they
go.
don't use. They're not using. I'm going to tell you something, right? Will there be enough ambulance drivers and trained medical personnel in the United States to get you to a hospital? Eventually, the answer is going to be no. That's why
That's
they're
probably
training
true.
Uber drivers. That's because you have 72 million people all over the age of 64 all at the same time. If everybody has an event all at the same time, there's no ambulance to be taking you anywhere.
Right.
There's some areas in some major cities, they don't even service, the fire department doesn't even service them anymore. They don't have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
And they send you notice, they don't leave you hanging. They say, oh, sorry, you're not in the rotation for this week. They actually send a notification out saying that the fire station is not manned. Emergency services is not manned for this week. We're going to be in this part of town. They rotate them. They rotate them
That's
to
right,
different.
Mel. We know it was just an accident. Mel said, sorry for the angry emoji. The keyboard was crazy.
Oh, my keyboard goes nuts.
That
Mel,
happens to me all the time, Mel.
my keyboard's out of control, Mel.
Autocorrected spelling, autocorrect stinks. You know, I
It
can
does.
see him saying, "Oh yeah, I wrote a response to a guy's video, and I wanted to use the word R, and it wanted me to use what was it, A."
No argument for me, Dodger Blue, on that comment. No argument for me whatsoever.
Oh no, I have to agree with Dodger on that one.
It's going to be over soon, Dodger Blue. Predictions of a settlement or peace agreement. I think a lot of people are predicting that. Hey, the U.S. Listen, every empire collapses sooner or later. Our country is not that. It's not that old. Every empire goes through changes. We're about ready to go through a change.
Yeah.
China.
We're over 200 years old. We're pushing 3.
It's only
That's nothing for empires.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah, but there's empires lasted a lot longer, but they've gone through. Even those had ups and downs.
Well, they went through changes, right?
Stretch. Yeah.
Yep.
But I do agree. I do agree that people are acting a lot like sheeple. Where they're just going with the flow. Oh, what? Lockdown? Yeah, just beat me, whip me, call me dirty names. I'll do whatever you say. I mean,
like I said, I got my last shot.
That's what I'm kind of sick of. I'm kind of sick of that. Okay, you don't want to be involved in what's going on in your own country. You want to put your head in the ground like an ostrich. Just remember that when your head's in the ground, what does that mean? Your ass is in the air.
That's right, and you're vulnerable.
That's exactly right.
That's why I always vote. I don't care if my candidate gets elected or I do, but I mean, if he doesn't matter if he does or not. I'll vote even when I know he doesn't have a chance, because my dad always taught me, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain because you gave that right up by not voting. If you have the right to vote and don't do it, you have no right to complain.
I agree completely.
Folks, don't be too lofty, and certainly don't ignore what's going on around you. This is one thing that I've been talking to Minnie about a lot lately. If you see, for example, let me give you one example in the Philippines. You see 2 guys on a motorcycle wearing helmets and face masks. There's a problem. There's a problem. See, you always have to have your head on a swivel.
Yep.
You always have to have your head on a swivel, and don't be walking around in the middle of the night with your stuff.
Right.
It's a great idea not to be walking around at all in the middle of the night, especially by yourself.
Totally agree.
Yeah, but don't be carrying your phones around and all your money. That's the other thing. Don't be carrying your passport and all that other junk. You keep that in the room you're staying in. I don't do that. We don't do that. We're not walking around carrying.
Talk about passports. I got to get mine renewed.
Better do it.
I got mine this last year.
Oh, I got a little over 5 months left on mine, so I'm not going anywhere.
It'll take you 3 or 4 to get it back. So, I mean, you can do it late. Mine was.
I've done it late before.
Yeah,
I've done mine over 4 years.
I did it late last year, and I got mine back. I actually got it back quicker than I thought I would.
Now I got when I did this when I got it back within a month.
Oh wow, mine took longer than
Nipban,
that.
Nipban says, what will happen when the U.S. eventually defaults on paying its chief drone? We never will, Nipban.
No, we
We
won't.
never will default. And the reason is because they just raise taxes. And if they can't raise taxes, they'll just print more money and they'll create runaway inflation. But we're never gonna not service the debt.
No,
I don't believe that's ever gonna happen.
it won't.
Yeah.
Anime, what do you say? What it's gonna be today? I love anime,
Hey,
Riz.
Marianne.
Oh man, I just thought of something. I gotta go buy some birthday cards. My youngest sister's birthday is April 1st.
Oh, you better
You know
get
what I
it.
noticed here? What I notice here in the comments in the chat is that we have a lot of well-grounded people here. We have a lot of people that are well-grounded. You know,
Yep.
it's very impressive. I don't know how we ended up with a group of people like that.
You're just lucky, Dan.
I'm lucky. That's what I'm
You're
saying. I'm
good.
lucky.
You're good, Dan. You're good. That's how you did it.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So let's talk about what the next move is, Leonard and Larry. I need your help. Does that mean that I contact because Eleanor, quite frankly, she's been hitting the email pretty hard, and so I had promised her I would give her an answer today about apartment, the first one that we saw that I liked a lot, right behind the hospital. It was $300 a month, but I got to tell you, I think you guys have already helped me make my mind up that no,
Well,
it probably is the way to go. I would
if
rather.
you're really
I'm
if you're
gonna
really
let-
stuck on if you're really stuck on lower rent, you're going to have to go a little farther away.
Yeah.
Oh, ah, oh my gosh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the anxiety already.
Yep. Then you better take it.
That's your choices. Either overpay for what you want, overpay because it's not furnished. So you're over. As far as I'm concerned, you're overpaying for an apartment that's not furnished. That's my opinion. I wouldn't pay that for an unfurnished apartment.
I think I need to widen the perimeters for Eleanor to give her a break, because she's probably on the
No,
computer right now.
she will work really hard for you.
No, believe me, I already know that. Like I said, I mean, she's like this. I'm gonna get it. She's very-
Just to let you know, Dan,
Yeah.
Mary Ann R is in the house.
Oh, hi, Marianne.
Marianne. Remember the song by the Four Seasons? Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. That's whenever I see Marianne, that first thing I think about is that song.
Yep.
The song
And
I
I
liked
love,
that was about a woman.
I love,
Sylvia's mother said.
yeah, Frankie Valli is kind of a weird kind of guy. If you listen
Yeah.
to his songs,
Yeah.
the lyrics he's written, there's some of them that I'm kind of thinking to myself, you definitely grew up in different times there, Frankie. But I've met him twice. I had the front row. I had paid for the front row seats, both at the Westbury Music Fair, way back in 1980, 88 or 89, and then again, I paid the maitre d' a little something something, and they brought us to the front, right there in front of Frankie Valli at the old Aladdin Theater in Las Vegas. No, Frankie didn't. Frankie, I went Frankie. Nah, he didn't remember me.
He didn't give you a fist bump.
No, he did. No, but he did shake my hand. He did shake my hand.
Well, that's
And
back before. That was back before the pan. So yeah, the
Yeah.
handshaking was a lot more common back then.
Yep.
Anyway, it's fun. It was fun.
And Dodger Blue, the reason why you're getting all that rain, California's crying because Dan and Minnie left.
There you
Also,
go.
Dodger Blue, I'm not worried about you because I know you have one of them inflatable rafts in your garage ready to go.
Yep.
Nitban says, yeah, the inflation will be higher, hurting the lower middle class like me. Nitban, who are you trying to fool?
Yep. But
Nitban,
Nitban, I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to tax the wealthy again. They're going to repeal that big cut that they had a couple of years ago. And that'll put the money back in there where they need it.
it turns out that the water is not slimy coming out of the faucet. It's slimy once it runs off, Dan.
Well, you got to get the slime off somehow, Dan.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I'm telling you, keep feeding me those straight lines. I'm telling you, I'll have the comeback. Sir Luke, may the force be with you. Hey, so, all right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to decline on even though it's a beautiful apartment, it's just not, I want hassle-free life. I deserve hassle-free living.
Yeah, unless you're going to buy cheap furniture that you're willing to leave.
Yeah,
Do you
I
really
probably
want
would
cheap
have done
furniture?
that. I probably would have done that, Larry. I would have bought plastic furniture, a card table, 2 chairs. I would have looked for a second.
And an air mattress
Yeah, an air mattress.
that you can
I
take
would have
with
done
you.
it. I would have gone back to the 1970s, the way, when I was a kid and when I got my first apartment.
I slept
Yeah.
on the air mattress for a while myself.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I've
else
used
is
them before.
super absorbent.
I had an air mattress that a friend of mine had a metal frame underpinning, right?
Yeah.
And there was like a sack that you put the mattress in that fit on it, and so it was set up like a bed. It was
Yeah.
set up to be slept on for long term.
Yeah.
It was air mattress. So like I
Well,
said, I
that's the
slept on
way.
an air mattress for a while.
That's the way that I would do it.
Yep.
Oh, I think the way to do this now is since we were talking about promised life versus, see, this is really the thing, as you point out, the further out that you go, the cheaper things become.
Right.
And so again, I would lose one of my objectives, which is to be as close to the hospital as I can get, which may not be very realistic.
Well,
Well,
no,
you
Dan.
got to
No.
realize you're going to pay more.
But what I'm
But
saying is, Dan,
they
for
get
your bill, you will be for what you're willing to spend. You will be as close as you can get. It just won't be as close as you wanted.
By the way,
Right.
in Overstay Road, one of his recent videos, he actually addressed this, and I remember he said the easiest way and the quickest way to get to the hospital near you is by trike. He wasn't
believe
That's
kidding.
probably true.
I
Probably
believe
true.
it.
You can call an ambulance, and that's why I brought up the Uber driver thing earlier. It's because in the States they're kind of gravitating towards that. They're getting tired of paying $1,500 and $1,800 a ride in an ambulance to get to the hospital. So people are smart. They're smartening up. They're calling the Uber driver because they know they'll get there and get them to the hospital in a timely manner. They won't have an $1,800 bill to pay.
Right.
Here,
Right.
it works. Here, it doesn't cost you $1,800 to take an ambulance. I think that's part of community services, but you won't get there very fast. In other words, it
Oh.
takes time. Traffic is
especially-
outrageous. But all you have to
especially
do
in a
here,
large city.
here, all you have
Right.
to do is wave a taxi down. That's all you
Right.
have to do here. They're everywhere, and you'll get to the hospital quicker by waving a taxi down. So even if I go further out, I have to at least be by a main street, a main corridor.
Oh, I
Right.
agree with you on that.
Yeah, I
like
think
I
if you
said-
lighten up the expectations a little bit, Eleanor will be able to hook you up.
Like I said, I wouldn't stay at I said I would, but I really wouldn't probably stay at an Airbnb. Remember that place that Chris used to walk by?
Yeah,
What do they call those kind of hotels?
they're called guest hotels or pension houses.
Pension houses. I'd probably stay
Yeah,
at a pension house.
they have them all over the place, and you'd be
They're
good
a lot
to go.
cheaper. Yeah,
They're a lot cheaper. Right. You'd be paying $10, $15 a night.
Yeah. And they had weekly rates, which was cheaper.
Yeah, we actually ran into a couple of them, and we inquired, and we weren't lucky enough to find any of them that were vacant.
Yeah. Well, like I
It
said,
says, it says it was a sign on one of them that says it's not too far from here, and it said daily, weekly, monthly
yeah,
rate. And so we inquired, and they said, "Oh, sorry, sir, all full up.
yeah.
Sorry,
'Cause,
sir, no vacancy."
Chris used to walk by those and show you what the price was once in a while on his walks. And like I said, that's where I would go.
Dodger Blue is bringing up this economic stuff that's important that we should talk about it. So California wants to add 0.06 cents a mile tax on all miles that you drive, and San Francisco wants to pay reparations. Yes, I read about it, and I want to say
about that today.
I want to say something about the mileage, the tax. The reason why is because people aren't commuting any longer. They're not commuting to work. When you don't commute to work, that means you're not paying gas tax. You don't have to pay for gas. People are working from home now. And so there's going to be a huge economic decline. You know that California has a budget deficit, and it is in the big numbers. It's in the billions of dollars budget deficit. They had a surplus last fiscal year, and the surplus was largely due to a shell game that California was playing, where they were moving federal money from over here over to here. So they played the shell game. It worked out for them, using federal money from COVID relief, and now they have to pay the piper by having a 30 or $40 billion budget deficit. At the same time, they're talking about paying out huge dollars in reparations.
Well, they said that would cost every person, what was it, $1 or something for I forget how many years.
Yeah. I mean, so now, there's a thought crossing my mind that I better not utter.
When they talking to every person, they're also talking man, woman, and children.
Yeah. For example, my parent, nobody in my lineage were slave owners. I just would like to point that out.
I'm sorry, I can't say that. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you for sure that I can tell you with 100% certainty that there were no one in my background that were slave owners. They most likely were enslaved, but they weren't slave owners.
But what you're saying, your people probably came over after all that. But see, I have family that was on my mom's side. Well, that's where the Native American comes from. But the Caucasian blood in that line came over before the Revolutionary War and fought in the Revolutionary War. He was a ship jumper. He was Scottish, jumped off a British ship and ran off into the woods, and when the war broke out, he joined the Americans because he knew if they won, he wouldn't have to worry about the British again.
Right.
Now, on my mother's side as well, the German side, they came over in the 1850s, and I don't believe they settled south. But my dad's side, you got Lee, Bridgewater, and all other kinds of names. Who knows when the Lees came? I have no clue. And where they were all at, no clue.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm a mutt. It's just that simple.
I think Dodger Blue. What really is going on here? So Dodger Blue, if you read Dodger Blue's comment, they're using 20% of the gas tank for road maintenance, reparations, $5 million each eligible person. But really, what's going on here is we have a declining economy, right? And folks know that. Let me see. Sociologists and others know that if you're not used to having money, let's say that you're handed a bunch of money, and let's say that you win the lotto, you become a millionaire overnight.
Oh,
Um,
please.
yeah, you wouldn't win, Larry, because you'd save the money. What they're trying to do is get people to spend the money.
Oh,
Yep.
I would spend some of it. I really would.
Yeah.
I'd pay off my
And,
bills.
and so you're looking at if you put reparations out there, uh, $5 million for each eligible person. The likelihood that they're going to go out and spend the money buying
Very
cars
high.
and homes, and it's very high.
Very
Very
high.
It's a very high likelihood. And so what they're trying to do is, all they're doing is they probably know through research what their ROI, return on investment, is. If
Yep.
you think that return on investment is going to result in, let's say, you put 5 million out there and you get 5.3 million back for each eligible person, that turns out to be an awfully lot of money, a
Yep.
lot of money. And so I kind of see what they're doing. I kind of see what's going on here, or I think I know what's going on here. And that's
Yeah.
only because of my background in social services. I know that they're always looking at how much money is going to be the ROI on the grant. In other words, if we give this person 100,000 and it returns back, 110,000, 120,000, then to the local economy, then they're going to give the grant. That's how
That's
things
pretty
work.
good ROI. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, that would be a very positive ROI, but in this case, it wouldn't be as great, I don't think, but it would be a lot. It still would be a lot, probably enough to boost the California out of an eventual bankruptcy situation, because I think that's the way that it's headed.
Well, the thing is, California's got such a huge surplus because of all of the COVID money that they got.
Right, right.
That's why they've been giving all these rebates and stimulus
Yeah,
checks
but
and
the
things like
money's
that on
gone.
their own.
The money's gone. We need another crisis, Leonard. Tim is saying here, his comment, that he's right. The requirements for getting this money are not going to be a walk in the park.
No,
They're
no.
going to
No.
want they're
They're
going
going
to
to want
want
proof.
proof, and that's going to be
Yep.
difficult to provide.
Now, when you're talking
Exactly.
about the lottery, I just looked it up. They say that 70% of lotto 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within a few years.
I've heard that
Mhm.
before also.
Well, like I said, I just looked it up on Google. So
Yeah.
I knew it was a few years, but I didn't know what the percentage was, and I was thinking 5 years, but it says within a few years. They don't give
Yeah. A few
the
could be
number of
three or
years.
it could be five or whatever.
Yeah, it's
But
more than two.
So I was having fun this morning. Anyway, this is related. This is loosely related because we were talking about. Oh, Nipam was the one that gave me the idea. Nipam private messaged me about something. I think we were talking about the oil spill that's occurred off the coast of Palawan, right? And I had said something to him like, "Well, it's okay because the U.S. will go there with their technology and they'll help clean it up." You know, we
yeah.
we have resources here, and so I mean, it's not like we haven't had an oil spill or so before, off our coast of Alaska and the like.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but it
and
reminded me.
Louisiana and
But
Texas.
Yeah,
um, but then I was reminded that of the United States constantly posturing themselves as though they are the savior to the world. And so that is when I think about it, probably the way that the rest of the world looks at us. So this morning when I was talking to this bloke down here at the 7-Eleven, when Minnie and I were getting our coffee, he mentioned that, when he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Well, you can't tell. You can't tell that I'm from the greatest country in the world that's ever been, the empire known as the US of A. You can't tell." And of course, he was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, of course, of course." And he made a couple of comments like very, very similar to, "You guys think that you're the cat's meow." Of
and
course, he was,
our S don't stink.
yeah, exactly,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep.
That's what he was saying. And so, yes, I bow down, I bow down, I
To the
bow down.
all powerful, mighty
Yeah, but it reminds me.
Pause.
That's why I've been saying. It reminds me that's why I've been saying here in this live stream often. I say it often. Be careful, Philippines. What you wish for. Be very,
Yeah.
very careful. Be careful because it comes at a price. It comes at a price.
Yep.
You sacrifice your happiness. You sacrifice your health. You sacrifice your wealth. You
Yep.
sacrifice all these things when you
Your mental
decide
well-being, yeah,
that you want to be just like them.
yeah, yeah. You really sacrifice your mental well-being because now you start worrying about where's that next dollar coming from. Oh,
Yeah,
Joe's got this. I got to go out and work harder so I can get that. Oh, look at that
Oh yeah.
shiny
exactly.
new toy. It's something
Exactly
you
what
never
I'm
thought you
talking
wanted, but
about.
now you want it.
Donuts and pizza is what I'm talking about, Larice. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But donuts and pizza and coffee, they come at a price. A price which most people cannot afford. They can't. It comes with a price.
Yep.
Well,
But I
there's
want
also
these
Poor
things.
health.
Larice, I want these things. I want them. I want them. But they come at a price. And what I sacrifice is I sacrifice sometimes, yes, that's right, my weight, my health,
uh,
but apparently
fast
not my
food is.
happiness. Apparently not my happiness because those things make me happy. But
Yeah.
that's what they sold me in the West.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is what they
Well,
sold, and I bought it. I bought
we're
it hook,
addicted to
line, and
carbs.
sinker.
Let's be honest about it. We're addicted to carbs, and carbs are
It's a
not good
carb
for us.
addiction. It's horrible. It's the
Exactly.
worst. It's the worst.
Exactly.
It's the worst addiction. It's even worse than shabu. It's
It's worse
worse
than
than anything
cigarettes.
I
I'll
can
tell you
think
that
of.
much.
It's worse than
I've heard
shabu.
that.
It's worse than cocaine. It is worse than alcohol. It's the worst thing and very, very hard to beat.
Yep. I guess I was really lucky as I was able to walk away from the carbs
I
without
was
any
able to walk away
issues.
from cigarettes.
Yes, the best country that ever has ever been. Sounds like the world champion in American football. This dream is making me hungry. So be careful. Crystals, crystals, I love and care about you. Do not go and get Panda Salt today. Do not. Do not go. Don't be sucked into Dunkin' Donuts today, Crystals. I'm begging
We
you.
Dan, we got a couple of visitors from LV, Anna G and Lorena Barges.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live stream. Welcome for sharing and putting it out there. LV's got her live going and shows she's throwing it out there. Thank you so much, LV, for getting your crew in here to say, hey, we really appreciate it.
Yep.
Hello, Annie G. What will it be? I was able to walk away from walking away, and walking is what we should be doing every day, Dodger Blue.
Exactly.
Yeah, walking is what we should do every day. Hey, by the way, Leonard, what's the herbal remedy? What is the herbal remedy that Eleanor keeps talking about?
Oh, she's got a bunch of, I can't remember the name of the company, but she's got a bunch of herbal products that she
Yeah,
sells.
we're not talking basic H here, are we?
No, no, this is one of them is trying to remember the name, but it's C 24/7, I think, and that's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Are you taking it?
I took it till I ran out.
You ran out.
Yeah,
Where do you get it?
I actually got it on Amazon, but then I got some stuff through her,
Okay.
some other
Uh,
products, resveratrol and
Dodger
other
Blue
stuff.
saying at least 30 minutes a day exercise on the bicycle, mowing and mowing the yard. So that's good cardio. You got to
Yeah,
keep the heart
yep,
healthy.
yep. But I found for me at least the best cardio exercise for me is resistance training.
Oh, okay. Hey, oh my gosh. You're reading my mind, Leonard. You're reading my mind because I got my resistance bands,
All right.
and so when we get back to, they're in bye bye. But I was. So if you go into YouTube and you put in there resistance training for seniors,
Uh huh.
that is where you start, and they're going to give you the exercises. They're going to show
Right.
you the exercises to use and what bands to use. So it's
Yeah,
resistance training
I would have
for
to go and
seniors.
brush up on that because I don't remember. It's been too long. But yeah, resistance training has been the best I've ever done for cardio or strength training or anything. And I did just strength training for about 4 years, and I had an injury and I had to go to the hospital. I tore a tendon in my bicep, and the I share a room with a guy, and when the nurses would come in to check our vitals, they come in and say, "Oh, these are the dead guys," because his resting heartbeat was 38 and mine was 41.
Wow.
And of course, I couldn't work out for a while, and I kind of got out of it, and I wasn't doing it as much. But I know it can be done.
No, I've done it before, and I could see the improvement. And then, of course, I put it aside, but then now I'm coming back to it. So,
Yeah.
my mini went way high on the shelf to grab those box of resistant bands. So we're gonna be doing short videos, video shorts on using the
Okay.
resistance band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
a
of
good
course,
idea.
I realize that folks enjoy watching Man Mini doing the exercise and the dance and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I probably will be in the background doing the filming. But
There you go.
I'll be doing it. I'll be doing the resistance training,
Yeah. Once you
but I probably
start,
won't be.
once
Yeah.
you start and get into it for a couple of weeks, it'll just become so much a part of your life that you
Hmm.
won't even worry about it. Won't even think about it. It'll just happen.
I'm looking forward to starting it up again.
We're done. Hi.
Yep.
Oh, come here and say hi. Where
Hey,
are you?
Minnie.
Hey,
Where are we? Where
how
are
you
we? Where are
doing,
we?
Good
Minnie?
morning,
Hey,
Chris.
Minnie.
Hey,
Hi, everyone. Sir
man,
Larry
you know,
and Sir
Yeah, Miss
the
William.
Leonard. Yeah.
live
Hey,
stream just got
Chris.
better. I got much better looking too, with just
Yeah.
one addition.
Hey, Tox is here. Hi,
Hi,
Tox. Wave at
Tox.
Hey,
Tox.
Tox. How are you?
Tox is big time, folks. I love Tox's channel when I get a
Sure,
chance to
come
go in there.
Yeah.
The camera's right
Oh,
It's
here.
real
The
good.
camera's on the laptop. I wasn't able to bring the portable camera. I didn't want to carry a whole bunch of junk. Hello, BB Coys is here. Sir Luke.
Sir Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So we have a lot of, gosh, I mean, But anyway, our generation, we have to remain healthy because our generation is going to we're going to keep running things until we leave this planet.
Yeah.
Like I said,
And I
in
plan
earlier
on leaving it
class,
in a rocket.
yeah, I mean, we're the ones that are going to have to be the mentors.
Yep. Yep.
The
But like I
prior
say,
gen,
I plan on leaving this planet in a rocket ship.
there you,
Not,
there you go.
not
I
a
like
coffin.
that. I like that. Wow, this is fantastic. Look who all is here. Thanks so much,
Man,
Elvie.
everybody is here.
Yeah. Yeah, but Nip Band's right. We used to, when I was in high school, there was a requirement that you had to take U.S. constitutional history class, and you used
Yep.
to have to pass an extensive test.
Yep.
So a whole day was set aside for that exam.
Yeah.
So you
It
had
was
to
a
know.
it was a
You had to know
killer.
right. It was a killer. You had to know the Constitution. You had to know the amendments. You had to recite the preamble. You had to do all this stuff in order to get out of high school.
Yep.
All of it gone.
We
Yep.
had to
No
do
longer required.
Nope.
we had to do government and econ in our senior year.
Yeah,
That's
we had
right.
to do government also.
That's right. Hey, the
It
most
was only a
important
semester
thing.
each, but we had to do it. And I did it both the same semester so I could graduate in January. But I was a January graduate in Indiana. As long as you had the number of required
The
credits,
credits, yeah.
the correct kind of credits, because you had to have, what was it, two majors and two or three minors. I had three majors and two minors, so it didn't matter. And then you had to have, like I said, certain classes. And like I said, government and econ were required for everybody. It didn't matter if you were going for uh, a general high school education, which means you weren't planning on going to college, or a college prep course. That was required for everybody. Because
Yeah.
I went on a general. I did because I dropped foreign language. You had to take 2 years of foreign language. I only took one.
Yep.
Everything else I did was the same qualities needed for
Yeah. Well,
a
here in
college
Texas,
prep course.
they have the no, I can't think what they call them, but they have a test every year for certain grades.
They,
And
they, yeah,
the problem with
Remember
that
the
is
Alamo.
they teach they teach to the test. They don't
yeah.
teach the proper
That's
curriculum.
right. They teach the test these days. Exactly correct.
Yep.
Things have changed,
And if
baby.
they
I'm
would throw
telling you.
that test away and teach the actual curriculum and use the syllabus and teach it the way they're supposed to, the kids would be a whole lot smarter.
I'm trying to remember. Well, they got the same kind of test here.
Sam,
Yeah,
take care.
That may be national now.
well, it wasn't last time I checked on it,
Like I said, it
but
may be because
a lot of
I
states
know
do
New
it.
York has it. I'm not sure if Indiana does.
Yeah, I
I'd have
know a
to
lot
check
of
with my.
states do it, but there's been a
But
lot of
it's
them have dropped it because of that very reason.
oh, it makes sense to drop it. It really does.
It makes no
'Cause
sense to have it at all.
all of them that do it do teach towards for that school year. They
They
do
teach
teach
that
towards.
test, yeah,
Yeah, they teach for the test.
and therefore you're missing out on all the rest of the
Uh,
things that you should actually be learning.
Folks, I got to tell you, if you travel around the world, you're going to meet people that know the geography and the history of your country better than you do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, including Russia.
yep,
So, including Russia, they teach not only Russian history, but they teach world history.
well,
yep,
I took world history. I took U.S. history in high school.
yeah.
But
We
then
got we
again,
had
when we
that.
went to school, Dan, things were different.
Yep,
Leonard too. I mean,
yep,
and when I was in grade school, the state of Indiana required you took the state history.
yeah. I had Idaho history in grade school.
Uh, I had to take Indiana history in
Yep,
grade school, and then U.S. history and world history was in high school.
yep. Yeah, that's how mine
Yeah,
was too.
Dodger Blue, they don't teach you how to balance a checkbook. Of course, they don't have checks anymore. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they don't have home ec classes hardly anywhere anymore either.
Yeah, on
No,
electronic banking, it balances your checkbook for you.
Yep.
well, yeah, but I still got to double check it because I write it down, and if I don't check myself every once in a while, I can get it out of whack.
Yep, that's true.
And mine's
And then
out of whack,
sometimes,
but it's in my
some
favor.
yeah, and sometimes your electronic payment or whatever doesn't hit your bank for 3 days.
Mine
So
always hits. Mine always
Christmas
hits.
is fucking me up.
Mine always hits on the day it's supposed to. Now they don't always. It'll say it's there, but it's not always available.
yeah,
For a day or so.
right. There's that too.
Dodger Blue with it banned from took home ec and was banned from cooking.
I didn't take home ec. Now the class I took that a lot of people would find strange for a male to take, especially back in the 70s. I took typing.
I wish I had.
I did. I took typing. I had a business course, and by taking typing, it gave me a minor in business. And I loved the class because there happened to be, what was it? 28 girls and 4 guys.
Well, that's always a plus.
And that was my junior year.
Yeah. No,
So,
half the starting offense on my football team in high school took typing, and if
well,
I had even had a clue, I would have also.
I
Not
took it
because
because
they did, but because the fact, knowing what I know now, I can't type for diddly, and
Leonard,
yes, sir.
I got to ask you a question.
Oh,
When you get over here, are you going to go for a second floor apartment, or are you going to go for a first floor apartment?
if I have a choice, I'll go for first floor. Now, if
Yeah.
I'm walking without
by
a
the way,
walker,
we got another
I
one
won't
from
mind it
Elvie, Angeli
because that'll be good
Garcia.
exercise for me.
You got
Thanks
another one?
everyone for coming to the live. Thank you, LV. Really
Yeah, LB,
appreciate
how are you?
you. So you're going to go for first, yeah, if we can get it. But are you worried about someone breaking into your place when you're not there or something like that? Because it's easy to get to unnoticed on the
Yeah.
first floor as opposed to
If I was here, I wouldn't
yeah.
worry about it because I got a 45 cold. But
Oh,
I can't
but
bring that.
wait, you
But I
can't bring
can't
that
bring
into the
that there.
Philippines. Yeah,
So I
your
might have
girlfriend
to.
can have one. You
Yeah.
need to get yourself a girlfriend that has
Roger,
one.
the girls helped me with my timing by me showing up. Although I did get in trouble for skipping that class.
Yeah.
Yeah, what girls are helping you with your typing?
I told you the ones that helped they got me to show up.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
You know the class, Leonard, you're talking about the class you wish you took, looking back, that you didn't realize you should have took? Shorthand.
Shorthand isn't
Dan, think
used so
about it.
much now.
How much easier would it have been to take notes in college if you had shorthand?
That's true.
Oh, that is true.
Very
That's
true.
what I thought about when I went to
That's
college.
true.
It's like, man, I wish I knew, because there was girls just, and you're looking at it, you can't read it, so you knew
All
they were
right.
doing shorthand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they
Looked
just
like a
put
bunch
Uh,
of
that down.
squiggles.
stenography in court. For many, many years in California, they the stenography's union was very strong, and so even though they had technology coming out where they didn't have to do shorthand reading testimonies and stuff, the unions resisted using the technology to ensure that stenographers would continue to have a job.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but all that has gone away now. And now everything is voice activated. Is that what they call it?
Pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
Voice to longhand, right? Where you could just
Yeah.
talk and then
It
the
types it out for
testimony
you.
is recorded. Yeah, it's recorded in longhand. It's
Yeah.
amazing. hmm So anyway, I guess what I'm going to do then, after talking and airing this out about the apartment, I guess I have to tell Eleanor to start looking a little bit further out, made in
Yeah. Broaden
Guadalupe.
your horizons a little.
Yeah, and also that I'd be willing to sign a 1 year lease as opposed to a 6 month. So I think one of you
I'm
in here
sure that
warned
will
me.
help.
Yeah, one of you in here warned me that it would be very, very difficult to convince somebody to do a 6 month over a 1 year lease.
I've heard that, and I believe it's probably true.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I think so.
you might be able to do it with an Airbnb, but those are a lot more expensive.
Well, they do have a management office downstairs, but I'm not thrilled with this setup here. I'm not
Yeah.
thrilled with living in this. This is a very, very popular place for expats to live and for actually a lot of people to come to. A lot of people in this apartment building here, they are students in the university and they come from rich Filipino families, quite frankly.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not thrilled with living here for a bunch of different reasons, but another one is that I failed to mention last time is they only have 4 elevators, and this is 54 stories straight
Wow.
up. So that means that you have to
Those
wait.
elevators, yeah, those elevators are gonna be packed.
Yep, exactly. They're packed all the time. And so that's an engineering faux pas. They were
Yeah.
trying to save some money.
Oh,
They
yeah.
should have had 6 elevators, and they should have
Minimum
had them
6.
all so that they
Yeah.
should have had 6, and they should have had them so that one elevator goes from, I don't know, the 25th floor to the
Odd,
54th.
well, either that or odd numbers. One does odd numbers, one does even.
Right.
Something
They
like
should have
that,
done
yeah.
something like that. But you can't make it on 4 elevators on a building that's this tall. I'm going to tell you something. They need to tear it down and start over and see if they can get it right the next time. It's a twin tower, so now you guys know where I'm staying. I'm telling you, they need to rip the whole thing down. It's an engineering nightmare.
You said you're on Mango Avenue. I wouldn't stay on Mango myself. I wouldn't stay on Mango Avenue. I would.
You
I
know,
do Rodriguez. That Chris walked all the time. But then again, like I said, I would do one of those pension houses. I had to think of the term.
well, when
And
you're
like I said-
when you're
Like I
single
said,
at work, when
you're
it's
low
single-
tech. I'm cheap.
no, but when you're single, it makes sense. But when you're married, here's what they do, right? So even
Yeah.
if you found a pension house and you wanted to room 2 people, they would charge you for 2.
Well, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what they would do, and so that's why it wouldn't work out for us.
Yeah. Well, like I said, with me, I want to go.
By the way,
over
that
and look
warship
around.
has already departed Manila Bay. That warship came into Manila Bay and it's left now.
Where's it going?
Did it say where it's going? Is it going down to
No,
sea?
no, they said it was on a mission and they weren't going to reveal where it's headed.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, they're not going. If it's on a mission, they're not. Especially with all the
Nope.
Chinese around, they're not going to tell you.
Yeah, how many guesses do you need though? I mean, what do you think? The South China Sea might be the place?
Taiwan.
Either that or the Philippine Sea, one of the two.
Yeah.
South China Sea is the best guess, but like I said, so it could be going over the Taiwan Straits.
Right.
It could be heading down to Subic, and they just don't want to tell anybody.
After
Right.
this live, I'll be sending Eleanor a message, and I'll be telling her to go ahead and
Expand a bit.
expand it out a little bit. I'm going to give her some more room so that she
Actually,
can come
forget
up with.
your morning. I'm evening.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're headed over to Ayala though this morning. I think I'm not sure we're going to be able to apartment hunt today. It might be Monday, but I'm going to give her
Well,
some more. I'm going to give her a couple
she
days
will-
to research.
She will kill herself trying to find you a place.
I know she will. That's what I worry about. I worry about that a little bit.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does have 5 kids, so
Tell her to take a day off.
No, there's no such thing as a day off in that business. We were talking
No.
about that the other day.
yeah, and
There's
Eleanor's
such
not
thing as
a
a day off.
Eleanor's
No.
not a day off kind of person.
Right. No, I don't believe so. So we're just going to have to. But I'm glad that we were able to do it because now you guys know. You get a sense of what's going on here. You get a sense that. But I don't think it's going to be this way forever. Like I said, I just don't. I just don't believe that things are going to. I think things are going to come down. I don't think they're going to come crashing down. Nope, I'm not a believer in that.
No,
I'm not
They
gloom and
won't.
dooming it here for the Philippines. I think
the
They're gonna
Philippines,
come
I'm gonna
the
I'm gonna tell you
Philippines
something now, Dan.
economy is tied to the U.S. economy.
they're
Yeah.
married to each other, and
Yeah.
that's why you kind of
Until
see
the
it
U.S. until the U.S. gets their interest rate down where it belongs, inflation won't come down because that
Yeah, and I don't-
interest drives prices up.
right. And I'm comfortable saying that I don't think it's going to happen in 2023.
Dan,
I don't think
Dan,
they're going to
I
recover in 2023.
I do have a suggestion for you. Now,
Yeah,
this is a long-term suggestion. You said you're willing to sign a year contract. Make sure before you sign that second contract, you know what things are costing for similar, because you can always renegotiate. Because if it's furnished, you can go to another and let him know, hey, look, I can get this over there for this. What you willing to do for me? Can
Yeah.
you match it? Or
You may have to let Minnie do the negotiation.
I'm not. So far, it doesn't seem to have been an issue. Even though they know
Well,
that.
You know they
Yeah,
have a
not
skin
that.
tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends on who you're talking to. You got to
Well,
also
I'm not
remember.
sure. I really don't think that was the case in
No,
any
but
of
you
these
you
farms
got
that
an
we
agent
saw.
right now. You have an agent. We're
Yeah.
talking about next year when you don't have an agent.
Right. Right.
That's when the skin tax may hit you.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, I have to take a break. Talk about things amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll hold the horses. I mean, we'll hold the house down.
There you go.
I mean,
I'd
we
rather
got
hold it
no
up
problem.
myself.
Huh?
I'd rather hold it up myself than hold it
Come
down.
on. I'm here to keep it from floating away.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean by holding it down. It won't float away on you.
Yeah, there you go.
You stick my big old butt in the middle of it, it's not going anywhere.
Yep.
But oh man, I tell you, I can't wait till my work. Man, but Dan was talking all about the lottery. Oh, I'd love to hit that.
Phew.
I'd be,
You and
be
me both.
retired. I'd be retired so quick. You're already
I-
retired. I'm
Yeah.
talking about I would retire so quick.
If I
My
won the
employer's
lottery,
head
I
would
would
be
be
spinning.
out of
What
here
happened?
within a month, probably.
Well, I got
I
a
still
few
wouldn't.
years.
I still wouldn't be stupid about airline tickets and paying 2,000 when I should have got it for 600. But
I'm with you there, man. I'd love to see them settle their differences. He's talking about China and the U.S.
yeah,
because we really don't need a war. But that's up to China. I mean, they're the ones trying to push things. They're trying to take Taiwan back, and Taiwan doesn't want to go back, and the
and
U.S. is.
unfortunately, we have a something of a treaty with them to protect them.
Well, I don't
So,
consider that unfortunate. I actually
well,
go to
I'm just
Taiwan,
saying
and I
it
prefer
might get
them to
us in the
stay
middle of
free.
something.
Yeah, but yeah, it's unfortunate if something happens, but
Yeah,
it also holds China back a little bit as long as we got that treaty. And
right.
also, if they take Taiwan, then they might turn their eyes upon the Philippines.
Well, that's my big worry. If they
Yeah,
take Taiwan back, then they're just going to go all of the South China Sea.
they
They're going
might
to just
try that.
gobble up
That's what I'm
everybody.
saying. And so you
Yep.
got to try to stop them as soon as you can.
Yep.
Like I said, I've been to the
Discourage
Philippines.
them before they start.
Like I said, I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Japan. Uh, hell, I've even been to Hong Kong before it went back to China, and I've been to mainland China
Yeah.
on my own after I got out. I went there just the same year I quit smoking. I went to China, and I found the people to be quite nice, really. But you're not talking people; you're talking governments, and governments are different than
Exactly.
you know.
They aren't the same
Uh,
as the people.
no, no. You look at the United States and look how. I mean, you do have people that feel the same as the government. That
Yeah.
super in China, super. How shall we say this? Patriotic. The Chinese are always right. The government's always right. And you got
Right.
that here in the States on both sides,
Oh
on
yeah.
the left and the right. You got both. Like I said, I like to say, you got extremists on both sides. I like to think of myself more in the middle. But like I said, I have voted Democrat and I vote Republican, and I consider myself an independent with leanings towards the right. But I like to think I'm more in the center. But RD Vlog, how you doing? Uh, so how you been? Welcome
Yeah,
to
you're
the
right,
live
man.
stream.
Taiwan is important.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, and it's important because it's the tipping point right now. It's the
Yeah.
point of this, and so you have to worry about it. And just saying hello to some of the visitors from LV. and Paulino. My mother's middle name is Pauline. And we got a couple came in, Dan, while you were out.
Mm-hmm.
We got RD Vlogs and Paulino Janeth just came in.
Nice to meet you, Paulino.
And they're coming in from
From
Oh,
LB.
Hey, you guys, I have a question.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, Dodger Blue. I don't know if I want to get that deep into that particular topic there, Dodger Blue.
No, I
are
don't
making
think
me-
we should.
You're making me laugh.
That would.
I mean, but let's face it, let's face this fact. I mean, economically, we've been married to China for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
now,
let's be honest
apparently,
about
what's
it,
going on?
we were married to the Iran and Saudi Arabia for a long time too. And,
Oh, thank you. LB's doing it right. Thank you, Mark. Thanks. Thank you so much, you guys. Hey, but here's the thing about China, right? How many spatulas? Listen, we're headed for an economic dilemma right now because how many plastic spatulas do you need from the 99-cent store?
Yeah.
How many of those
Really?
things do you need?
I prefer one made out of good pecan.
There you go.
Or I mean mesquite. Sorry, mesquite.
Yeah, well, that's quite the dilemma. I mean, let's face it, we don't
Yeah.
manufacture many things here, and you gotta make money some kind of way. So, okay, what I was talking about in one of the previous live streams, I mean, since Dodger Blue brought it up, is that the Philippines, even though it's tasty, it's a tasty morsel for manufacturing, I could totally see them skipping over that and going straight for service-oriented economy. In other words, where they exploit tourism and
That's
they
already started, hasn't it?
yeah,
With tourism,
and finance, home financing, and they just use the American model, in order to get the Philippine economy so it's raging. I mean, but I think the predictions are that by 2000, let's see, 2040 is it that I read that Philippines will emerge to be what do they call it? Not a developing nation, but a first world.
Yeah.
It really
Economic.
wouldn't take much.
Yeah, because I mean, they have this young, educated workforce, but educated. Let's talk about it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but educationally, I mean, the United States is always ranked number one. And every time I see that, I'm thinking to myself, number one, what does that mean? And I don't know what the studies are using there for parameters. Maybe it's
Total numbers, probably.
total numbers.
Well,
Yeah, that we have access to education. Because see here it's difficult to access education, and so it's number 54, I think, on the list of countries. But number 54, that still puts it in what, the upper 1/3 of educated countries in the world.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
And
probably is actually higher than that.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say,
probably actually higher than that.
but let's say they're going on percentage and not actual numbers. The thing that's hurting the Philippines, from what I hear, is the girls are mostly go to college and the guys go to the trades.
Yeah.
Where here in the States, it seems like everybody wants to go to college.
Right.
They're telling they got a push
Yeah,
on to
nobody's-
remind kids, hey, look, you can make six figures. You can make a lot of money.
As a welder or something, right?
I said, well, a truck driver can make over 60
Yeah.
grand to 100 grand
Right,
a year.
exactly. So here's what I recommend. If you're in the United States, 2-year education,
Yep.
is what you should be going for. Forget the rest of it. Forget about it.
Either
Yep.
Forget about it.
a 2-year
Don't waste your
education
money.
or a trade school.
But if you're
Yeah.
if you're
Well,
in the
a
Philippines,
trade school will give you an associate's degree. That will give you an opening to go farther if you want.
Yeah, but I'm just
There
saying,
you
though,
go.
instead of,
That's
they've
right.
got 2-year schools that have math and English
Right.
and all that.
Right.
But I'm saying
right.
you got trade schools that all you're going to learn is that trade, and it may only be 6 months, but you're learning that trade only. Even that, like you want to be a mechanic, and that's what you really want to be. They got some really good trade schools. You go to that, and you're going to get a job as a mechanic somewhere.
but in the
Yeah, you'll have
Philippines,
that certification.
in the Philippines, you need the 4-year degree.
Yeah,
That's just to be a sales lady in the mall.
yeah.
That's just
Like
to be
nowadays.
it's required. But if you're in the States, 2 years, 1 year. I mean, 2 years is really great foundational stuff, really. And then,
Yeah,
as Leonard,
that's
you were
all I
pointing
have
out,
is an associate's degree.
well, Leonard, you were pointing out that if you need more, you can get more if you want.
Exactly.
Go to school
Well-
at night like everybody else and start making a living for yourself.
Well, that's how
Well-
I got my associate's degree. I went to school at night.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
but like you take, let's say, nursing. You can go for 2 years, which a lot of nurses do. Go to work and then take night classes and get your bachelor's. Because a lot of places want nurses with what is it, LPN 4-year and RN, or which is it? One's two,
RN is
one's
4
4.
years. I think
RN
an
4
RN
years.
is 4 years.
No,
LPN,
LPN's 2.
yeah, an LPN
But
isn't
lo-
really considered a
Well-
real nurse anymore. Most
Well,
places.
like I said, you can get a job as a nurse. Now you may be doing the lower level.
But you
job.
have, hey, you
But
have
then you go to
2-year
school to
degree
get your
programs for
RN.
nursing, for
Yeah,
RN.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never
LPN.
heard of that.
I
but
think
it
it's
might be.
LPN.
Well, I mean, they
But-
used to have, but
But
I've
in
heard
they're doing
they
it
didn't.
now.
California, they separate them out: a 4-year versus a 2-year RN.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, they have a different pay scale.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then
the
if
way
you go
you get
2
the
more
money-
years, if you go 2 more years, then you get the higher paying jobs.
Right. So, but listen, the future is bright for the Philippines. I don't think they're going to go through the economic pain and suffering that the United States is going through. Even though they're closely connected, they're going to have inflation, of course. Prices are going to rise, but they're not going to suffer the devastating economic impact that the U.S. will. I don't believe so, because they just have too many safeguards in the Philippine economy. You know,
Yeah.
you have the resilience. Number one, the age of the population, the resiliency of the population, the education of the population. You have the overseas workers sending money home to the Philippines. That's a cushion, and you have. I mean, there's just too much going on here. And you have the U.S. military moving in, which is going to also provide a safeguard.
That's gonna be a big bump in the economy right there.
That'll be a big bump in the economy, pumping dollars into the Philippines. The things that will harm the economy in the Philippines are things that are going to also harm the U.S. economy. And one of those things is going to be because of Starlink being here, that's going to lend more opportunity for people to work at home. And so you have a lot of projects here that require. You have a lot of buildings that are coming online within the next. I think the next 2 years, year and a half or 2 years, you're going to have all kinds of new office buildings opening up, and that I see as being problematic because now that Starlink is here, they're going to be able to set up hubs easier, and you can be practically anywhere you want to be in the country.
Yep.
Now,
That's
talking
true.
about the LPN and the RN, I did a Google search. An LPN you can get in 12 months, and an RN can be 2 to 3 years for your associate or your bachelor's. So a trade school would get you with the LPN. 1 year.
Crystal's is pointing that out, that there are 6-month courses that are in demand, and so, I mean,
Yeah,
And
well, that's because they don't have to pay them as much.
right.
Well, yeah, but another thing is you come to the States, They're short on nurses. Nurses are getting burned out and quit. So if a Filipina wanted to come to the
Well,
States
they're
on her own,
older. They're older in the States, Larry.
Right.
yeah, but
Right.
I'm saying even the young ones, they say don't last as long, especially
My
because of the
kids,
pandemic.
I have two boys that are nurses in Jacksonville. One's a traveling nurse
Yeah.
who's in Santa Fe now,
Yeah,
and
Doug
they're
is doing
already
right.
talking about, oh man, my my kid who's a traveling nurse, right? I asked him why he does. He says, because I couldn't stand doing this job 12 months out of the year. In 4 or 5 months, I can make enough. I can make plenty of money that lasts me the entire year.
Well,
Yeah.
you know Danny from Road to the Philippines.
Yeah,
You know, he's an RN. He's a nurse, and he
Yeah.
doesn't work year round. He takes off. Somebody he works for somebody, and I guess he's does contracts for 6 months or whatever he does it
right. They're
for.
traveling nurses. They do
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah, and that's what he does. But what I was trying to say to the ladies and the guys that are in the Philippines right now, if you really want to come to the States, become a nurse and apply because they
Here's the
hire a
thing.
lot of Filipino nurses here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because a
except
lot of
that they're.
hospitals are short.
But if you talk to a because I know plenty of them. If you talk to a Filipino nurse in the States, they're going to say, "Can hardly wait to get the hell out of here."
Well, that's because they don't like the States. I can understand it. You come here, you make your money, and go home.
Mate,
Yep.
they're planning on making their money and going home.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yep.
it's the same thing as you're an overseas
Oh,
foreign worker in another country.
right. When I was in the
You go make
hospital,
your money, then get the heck
more
out
than
of here.
half the nurses I had, well, all the good ones were Filipino. The rest of them, they had some Nigerian and others, and you can take those Nigerians and send them home because they
Hey,
were
folks, we're
worthless.
we're hitting that 2 hour mark, and I just want to say before we close out, I want to say remind people the contest is still on. No decision has been made about a channel name. You know, there's certain ones that I like that you guys have offered up that are impressive. I mean, but you folks out there, you're working hard to earn that 5K PHP prize. And I really, really wanted to thank you and appreciate it. You're going to make me work because today I'm spending most of the time. I have my notebook and pen, and I'm going over all the names. But we still have live stream on Monday, and I believe the winner will be selected on Wednesday. Will be the last live stream of the month. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. What is
No, they
Wednesday in
just
the Philippines? Is that the 31st?
Wednesday's the 29th.
Okay, so Wednesday is going to be the day that the winner is selected.
the 31st is Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, so Wednesday's the
31st is
day.
right.
The winner's going to be selected on that day. So you still have time to get your names in. And Crystals and Anna May and Travel Blog, what's the name? Travel Family? I don't think they're in here today, but they've been going overtime giving name suggestions. LV, man, I'm telling you, Mabel, I'm telling you, you guys have been working. Larice, you guys have been given excellent suggestions for channel names, but do not give up. Do not give up, because I think we're close. We're close to finding something that we like. And so the thing is, you got to keep at it because you still have a chance to win. But I'll be going down, writing down all the list of names and who gave the suggestions. And if there are any similar names, remember that it's the first one that suggested it the earliest. The first one would be the winner if there's a tie. So I just
Crystal
want to.
says your channel name is even haunting in her dreams.
Yeah. She's been sending me messages. She makes me
Haunting her in her dreams.
laugh, you know.
Haunting me, sir.
Oh, Callie King, thanks so much for being here on the live. We really appreciate it.
Good night,
LV,
Kyle King.
Be careful in that
LV,
traffic.
thanks so much. LV,
I
really
don't know if
appreciate
LV
you.
herself is here, but she's been sending a lot of people.
Yeah,
so, hey, everybody,
LV,
Yes.
before we close, if you can and you got the time, go to LV's channel and let's give her some love back.
Absolutely. And Des is live also. And Larry, you're,
I'm live tomorrow, not tonight.
yeah, Larry will be live tomorrow, so don't miss Larry's channel. Also, I want to ask you a question, you guys. How does let's see, you have when you make a moderator, you have one that's standard, and what's the other one called?
I don't know. It's a little more. It's a. Yeah, I think
Super moderator. What is it?
I can't give
Guys,
moderator under.
you know why I'm asking? Because what's the difference between the two moderators?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
we
the
need
one
to find
moderator
out.
can
We need to
actually.
find out.
I think the
Because
one moderator can do more. It can
because
do
I
more.
want to give out two super moderators or whatever they're called if you have access to making all the same stuff as a regular moderator. Like you can highlight comments and you can do different things. So we need to find out, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on the next live.
All right, that'll be Monday's live, which will be Sunday here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let me see. Do I have any music or anything that I can for the outro? Let me see. Let me see. I don't know. Do you hear anything?
Yeah, sounds like
Hey, Larry, before you take us out of this, I want to announce the winners of the coffee and donut challenge here. We're going to have two winners today. Two winners of 100 pesos each. I'm going to send to your GCash. First winner is Anime Reyes. You get 100 pesos for coffee and donut.
All right.
Compliment of Dan's
Congrats.
retirement journey.
Hey,
And
Des, enjoy your
Crystal
christening.
Adventures, two winners. Take us out of this
All
live, Larry.
Well, we want to congratulate Dez's nephew. It's his christening today.
Congratulations, Des.
Now I'll take us out. All right, everyone. Remember to be nice to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All
Thanks for coming.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Leonard. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.